Yeah, that's definitely an old article. Now it's 50.
50 million!
Yeah. So,
Win the money, baby! Nik Mirkovic and Alex Tomic, welcome to On The Mic. G'day guys.
Mike,
Thank you
good to be
so
here.
much
Thanks,
for having
Mike.
me here
Thanks for
at
having
your
us.
amazing offices,
welcome.
the Hismile legends. Guys, congratulations on such an incredible career.
Thank you.
And an incredible business. Look at you go. You're just high flying and taking over, aren't you?
That's it. Yeah, it's been a good 3 years. It's gone quick, but there's been a lot that's happened in between, so I'm sure we're going to touch on a bit of that now.
Man, where did you guys meet? How did this all come about?
So we've been family friends for the last 10 years. Our mothers actually work together locally at the Village Roadshow at the theme parks.
Oh, wow. Wonder Woman and Batgirl? Or what?
Back in the day, maybe. HR.
I think I've got a photo with your mum.
Oh, shit.
Not like that. Yeah, that's cool, man. And so the friendship just evolved, and you guys always trying to come up with
Friendship
ideas,
evolved,
or?
but we sort of have the same sort of wavelength of how we think, sort of thinking quite larger businesses that were quite successful, and we sort of both had that drive in the business world. So then we linked up and sort of broke down some notes together.
So how did two young knockabout lads from the Gold Coast all of a sudden, I mean, I was reading in the paper, it might have been an old article, that you've turned over something like $10 million of selling these dental whitening kits. What is it? Is it gone through the roof even bigger now?
Yeah, that's definitely an old article. Now it's 50.
50 million!
Yeah.
Win the money, baby! Why aren't we doing this at the casino? On a rooftop bar somewhere?
Shit.
Is that your Lamborghini out the back? Do you have castles?
Not yet,
No.
not yet. But yeah, how did that sort of come about? Obviously, we brainstormed, but we always had a vision that this wasn't just a hobby. A lot of people around our age, they start a business as a hobby or inspired by someone else starting a business. But us, we're always been self-motivated. And
Yeah, but my hobby was doing mobile discos when I was a kid, and I was lucky to get $150 because my dad would take the rest of the money because he owned all the gear. But you guys are just thinking big. Is that how it's always been for you? Just think as big as you possibly can?
Literally from day one, it was funny, even though we were sending from our home to start with, we always knew that this is exactly where we would be, and we still have a much, much bigger vision of where we want Hismile to be. But yeah, we always had that pretty
So
clear.
was the vision like, this is where we want to be? Just want a massive business, we want to take over the world, want to make shitloads of money, or was it we know that there's a gap in the market where we can do quite well?
Yeah, the gap in the market was a lot of the brands, and the brands still are currently very default, and they don't really stand for anything. So we knew we would come in, really challenge that, create products and for the people, products that actually meant something and were quite of some standard. And then as on a brand level, how did we want to really represent ourselves? And that's where we sort of separate ourselves from anybody else in the industry.
Yeah, so you just look for the gap in the market, and you thought, well, you go to the dentist, and like I've had shitloads of work done on my teeth over the years. Like my friend Chris Marta, if you're watching, he's actually the one of the bosses of Red Bull America. When we were kids, we were mucking around with a stick. He knocked out my tooth, and I had to have all this dental work, spent thousands, and then all of a sudden, some of my teeth were a different colour to the other ones in front, and I tried bleaching them and everything like that, and the bleach was like fully stinging my gums. One, because I'm a wuss, and two, because from what I've heard is that the bleach that a lot of dentists use isn't so good. And I know the dentists will be watching this and going, "Nah, piss off." We charge $1,000 because we do a completely different service. My girlfriend Bianca, she's a dental nurse.
Okay.
And so you must have had a few knockers since you've started saying, what is this? It's not as good as going to the dentist.
For us, not really, because we've separated ourselves. We sort of stand for something entirely different. We have the sort of benefit of being able to do it in your own home, so we don't have to concentrate the one procedure in one go, which it obviously has its effect on the teeth. So we spread that out over 6 uses to get the results, and that's sort of the way that we've liked to go.
So you've smashed it through social media. It's mainly advertised on like Snapchat and Instagram. How did you guys figure out the matrix of how to really make that work?
yeah, just from testing and playing. So the way we launched off the back of influencer marketing. Obviously, being young guys, we didn't have that much money or startup capital. We wanted to start on our own back. So 50-50 split, myself and Alex. So we basically had the product. set aside 10% of the product to send to influencers. And when I'm talking influencers, I'm not talking about the big names we're working with now. It's people with 1,000, 2,000 followers who are happy to receive a free product, give their opinion to us, and give the feedback to their followers if they enjoy it.
How do you know when you look at someone with 1,000 followers and you go, okay, this girl or guy is going to help us sell a bunch of teeth whitening kits?
The thing is, you don't.
Yeah.
So we go out without looking too much at what other brands are doing. We go out and test it for ourselves. It's all well and good looking what previous gym brands and stuff have done with their influencer marketing campaigns. We did it ourselves, which is why we've now been able to systemize, process, and learn from those experiences. It's much better to learn off a free influencer than someone you're paying a couple $1,000s for. So
yeah, right. So how do you figure that out? How do you know who's someone you got to pay as opposed to someone who you give it to for free?
Now it's touch and feel. If they propose an offer that they've got a rate, then we go back and forth. If they say I'm worth a couple $100s, we go back, look, what's the brand awareness? We generally don't look at how many kits we're going to sell from them. It's like, what's the content that they produce?
Yeah.
What's their audience? Are we going to break into a new audience?
Yeah.
Are they going to accelerate our growth in a current audience, in a target market? And how can we repurpose that content?
So it started out, you were hitting people up, but now I guess they're knocking on your door because they know it's such a successful business model.
Yeah.
So what kind of people are knocking on the door saying, "Hey, I'll promote your teeth whitening"? Is like, do you have like thousands of people a day, or is it
big people? We've had big name athletes, Australian athletes, international athletes now promoted primarily because of people like Conor McGregor, Kylie Jenner, who add that legitimacy and add that reach and the appeal and the aura to the brand. So we've had some big names actually.
Well, Kylie Jenner and Conor McGregor, they are two massive names. Definitely. How the hell did you get involved with Conor McGregor? two young dudes from the Gold Coast all of a sudden have their business working with Conor McGregor. Was it like, you paid him or you just cut him in on the business? Does he own a part of this thing? What's the story?
So obviously to get to that point, we worked with well over 20,000 influencers up until that point. So we really
20,000?
Probably even more now.
Wow.
So we really understood how it all worked, and from that you get a lot of contacts, you get in touch with a lot of agents, and then obviously the right person gets you in contact with the people that you want to work with.
Okay.
Then it really matters of who do you want to get and how do you want to now structure your business to get that reach that only these guys can have.
It's such a professional approach. I mean, like I'm thinking I wanted some awesome story like, oh, we're hanging out in Vegas and Conor McGregor's a party and he had these strippers and these midgets and we're drinking vodka and all of a sudden Conor McGregor's like, hey, who are you guys? Oh, we do teeth whitening. I'll promote that for you fuckers. Yeah, give it to me. That didn't happen like that.
It would be cool if it was like that. It was a lot more professional, I guess, but it was exciting because we wanted to go for Conor McGregor because we wanted to target the male audience. Originally we went very much female orientated with our packaging, with the way we sold, and then it was like we need a headline influence in the male demographic. And
why didn't you say so? I know this certain slightly overweight ex-reality TV host by the name of Mike that he could definitely sell some teeth.
We'll have to get our teeth to him up if we got the budget for it.
So you worked with him obviously, but did you meet him and work with him personally?
Yeah, so we actually went to Vegas for the fight, for the Mayweather-McGregor fight. So we signed the deal, we wrapped the deal up prior to the fight even being known or even being announced. We had that gut feeling that the fight was going to happen, and sources were sort of leaking things, and we were like, listen, let's take a gamble here, let's go with Conor. We haven't had a big name influencer in the male market. Conor is someone who doesn't just influence people, he influences males. Like males look up to Conor McGregor, whereas you get males who females look up to, and they don't exactly influence people or make them want to purchase a product or try the product that they're using.
Because your main aim was 15 to 24-year-old females when you started?
When we started, 15 to 24, to really narrow it down and simplify it for us.
And so you're expanding the market and going, guys want nice-looking teeth as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
So for the first time, I think it was about a month ago, we actually sold more to males than we did to females, and obviously that was our big goal.
So Conor's massive.
Huge.
I mean, what's his following online?
I think it's 20-something mil now. 20. It's increased. When we signed, it was around 10, but because of the Mayweather fight, it grew, and now it's 20.
Is it bigger than Kylie Jenner?
No.
What's she at? Like 100 million?
100 plus.
100 mil. Yeah.
Right. So a post on Kylie Jenner will sell more teeth whitening than Conor McGregor at 20 million?
Different appeal, and it operates differently. Conor McGregor has a very, very engaged following of people really love what he does. So it's quite, you can't always just look at the numbers.
I don't give a fuck, but I give a fuck about my teeth.
Exactly.
Did you have it in the contract if he knocks his teeth out fighting, you don't have to pay him? No money.
I know,
We should have.
Yeah, damn. Well, that's a fantastic opportunity. You got any cool stories like after the fight? You know, did you get to go and hang out with him? Did you go to his house?
We actually wrestled with
his
his
jet.
We actually after the fight. We actually wrestled with his coach, who coaches with him, which was pretty interesting. And
Because you do a bit of MMA.
Not really, but he's just like, because we're up there, we're hanging out with them all, and then the coach is like, hey, let's wrestle. I'm like, fuck, why not?
So was it one of those after parties where you're
Yeah,
sitting on a massive couch and like, hey, you guys want to wrestle? Let's go.
Exactly that. What you said is how it happened. Yeah.
Nice. And what were they drinking? Like Cristal and like that $20,000 a bottle of vodka.
Yeah.
He is just bowling that guy.
It was but the thing was, it was at the Wynn, which he is a resident at, so everything was.
He lives at the
provided.
Wynn.
No. It's like, you know how you have resident DJs at clubs.
Yeah.
He was the first person who wasn't a DJ to be a resident at the club.
So he just has to come and hang out as
That's
part
it.
of his
Come and
deal.
hang out. That's it.
Exactly. Every fight he comes and hangs out there. He gets his bottle service, his room, and everything. So it was unbelievable.
That's incredible because I thought I was quite special because I have the same deal at the Surfers Beer Garden, and there's like a little area up the back just near the men's toilets where it's always reserved for me. It's like my name carved into the table.
We'll all have to go after this and celebrate.
Yeah, so the deal doesn't happen anymore. But if you're watching, I'm interested in open to offers. So you guys must love living on the Gold Coast because you've got a $50 million business. You could have lived anywhere in the world.
Exactly. Honestly, the Gold Coast is the place to be. Like I was just saying it yesterday. I live 1 kilometre that way.
Yeah.
The office is here. The beach is 100 metres that way. The shops are probably 500 metres in that direction.
I mean, that Pacific Fair, incredible shops.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Literally everything is within walking distance, you could say. And you just don't get that same thing in like a city. Say we're in Australia, a city like Sydney.
Yeah.
You can't go to the beach one day, go to work that same day, go to the shops that same day.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah,
I live in
things.
Bondi. Bondi, I think, is a little bit different to
Bondi's
the rest of Sydney. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the North Shore of Sydney.
That's probably a good
like,
point. When I think of the city where we usually have our meetings and when you picture...
Yeah.
The city,
But there is a great vibe and an awesome energy to your office and your studios. How many staff have you got here? Good looking staff too, I might add.
We've got here 35, and then we have a warehouse where we have another 6 to 7 at any one time.
All right, and I was reading the story in the Gold Coast Bully. Apparently, you're planning to hire a lot more people.
A lot more. So that's one of our big focuses in this next sort of period to be able to cope with the scale. So we're about to scale quite.
So you never move your offices to anywhere else in the world or around
We
Australia?
will definitely be expanding, and we may need to set up in other places, but we'll always have our headquarters. I
True to
believe,
the
yeah.
Gold Coast.
Definitely.
How loyal. And I mean, you must be excited about the Commonwealth Games coming up here as well. That's
That'll
going to
be
be
big.
massive.
I'm intrigued to see what happens and how does Gold Coast cope with it.
Because a lot of people have been against it, saying, we're going to spend all this money on infrastructure,
All for it.
stadiums, and, people will come, then they'll go and it'll all be empty.
But it can't do anything bad. What's the
Yeah.
worst that can happen? They build the infrastructure, which sets it up very, very well for...
Give us room for growth. Well, we've got what I'd say a population of like 600,000. That's like 6, maybe 7 now. But there's going to be rumour has it at 2 million people on the Gold Coast at that time. So you're looking at...
But more importantly, I think it rewires how we perceive the Gold Coast to be. Suddenly, after the Commonwealth Games come, suddenly we're a bigger city, and we
International
see
appeal.
ourselves
Yeah.
as a bigger city, and then from that you start to grow and really...
Would you guys ever be like ambassadors for the Gold Coast or anything like that? Has anyone approached you to do that kind of
We're
thing?
silently ambassadors for the Gold Coast,
Yeah.
but no one's really approached us on actually taking
Officially,
that
yeah.
further. But we're all for the Gold Coast. Can't speak
Definitely.
highly
I mean,
enough for
you're
it.
working with incredible influencers all over the world. If the Gold Coast mayor who likes to chuff off to China every 5 minutes to promote some developments happening on the Gold Coast that he says he has nothing to do with, surely you guys working with all these big names would be an amazing asset to the Gold Coast.
Definitely huge.
For sure.
I'm going to tweet him and see what
You
happens.
should see what happens.
Probably ignore me like he does the ABC. But what's your favourite thing about the Gold Coast?
Lifestyle for me.
And the ability to be able to get in a very clear mindset to sort of go down our own path. I think that's one thing that the Gold Coast has better than anywhere.
Yeah, nice. I love the Gold Coast as well.
Beautiful place.
Mike Goldman, Gold Coast. And I mean, working for years here on, Big Brother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't know if you remember this reality TV show, people
I
living in a
remember it.
house.
We've
so-
worked with a lot of people at Big Brother.
Oh, did you really?
That sort of
Okay.
took us to the next step. When I said influencer marketing, we did influencer marketing. Then when we went to the paid version of it,
Yeah.
we started working with Sky and Aisha from Big Brother. I don't know what episode they were on.
Yeah.
because I didn't really follow it, but they were on
The Big Brother crew helped
and-
you step it up.
And it's,
That's
it
part of the
stepped
reason
it
why
up.
I'm here, actually, to talk about my commission.
Ah,
Let's go.
things got awkward.
Contract.
Mate, they're great people. Sky's it's such an incredible talent, so funny.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And it's really interesting to see a lot of people who go on reality TV and all of a sudden they get this Instagram following out of nowhere, and some of them turn it into a business. I know another girl called Lisa Clark who lives in Bondi, and she's got regular clients that she'll always promote on her Instagram, but she keeps it interesting with like the healthy
That's
fitness kind of
to
lifestyle.
keep it interesting while still sort of promoting brands
Yeah.
and promoting brands that are sort of in line with you and your personality.
So if you were a young kid who just got on a reality TV show and you just had 100,000, 200,000 followers just land in your lap, like what do you think is the most important thing to make it happen?
Yeah, well, I think like you're saying, like it's one thing getting the attention, so you've got that extra 100K following, but you want them to be engaged. So it's important to remain yourself. So what's the reason why you got those followers?
Yeah.
Why did that happen? Reverse engineer that, and then tailor your post and show more of your lifestyle and portray the best version of yourself, because there's a reason why you got those followers. So making sure you're constantly keeping them in the loop.
And what is the quickest way to lose them? Because you see a lot of people, they go on these shows and then they're like, I don't know how to post, I don't know how to talk to the fans. I mean, these people want to know about my life all of a sudden.
It's if you
freaks
reject
them
it.
out.
Yeah, it's when you sort of reject it and not comfortable with what's the harm in showing sort of you? It'll pay off, I think.
Yeah, and really you've got to make hay while the sun shines, and run while you're
you got
hot.
a little window to sort of get the most out of it.
I mean,
eyes are on you, naturally.
Because like looking back, when when I was working on a lot of reality TV shows, I still do The Real Penguins of Sydney, which you can watch on the Sydney Sea Lap Aquarium website. And I'm doing a lot more voiceover stuff now, Bear Grylls' latest doco and all sorts of cool stuff like that. Awesome. But when I was actually on camera and got millions of people watching a TV show, then I wish that I had to really push the social media more, because it's once you got that opportunity, to sort of make some noise, you really got to run with it.
Another corridor, and it's just like another vision into your life. It's like someone's interested in you from the reality show. Now show them the other parts of your life that they're maybe not seeing. It's like what Instagram's done with Insta Stories, adding that feature. It's like, here's my post, my feed, which is quite refined, but here's behind the scenes of what's happening. So,
what do you think of a lot of people? There's a lot of stories going on around at the moment about Twitter, for example, is just making people's posts not seen, that they don't necessarily agree with, especially a lot of the right wing groups. If they don't like something, say Milo is saying, I think Milo was canned from Twitter for saying some things that they didn't agree with. I don't know if it's still running though, where he's been suspended from Twitter. But there was this Project Veritas. I don't know if you see it. They do a lot of hidden camera stuff. And they recently did it with a whole heap of people who work at Twitter. And we're filming all the engineers and people that work behind the scenes, and that they were saying, stuff that we don't necessarily agree with, that we don't think is right. We just don't let those people's messages come through as much. That can be really destroying for Twitter.
Definitely.
But that was rumored to be talked about a lot on Facebook as well, how Facebook works, and people only seeing stuff that they agree with or things that they like on their feed. Do you think that's?
I agree on Facebook side, because Facebook favors you. So whatever you want to see, you're going to see, whether it's right or wrong. They will block things that are either explicit or shouldn't be shown, or too graphic to be shown. But if you've got an opinion and you put it out there, and all of a sudden that gets 300 shares, that's going to be ranked at the top of your feed if you've got an interest in that person. So that's how Facebook sort of works. Twitter sounds like they're sort of manually sort of hiding.
Oh, they've come out. Twitter have come out and said, these people don't speak for us. It's not an official statement. Backpedal. Oh no, what are we going to do? But do you think that and there's some of the ex-bosses and people who've worked for Facebook have claimed responsibility for being very divisive in the community, whereas people are just seeing the stuff that they like, and those people are seeing stuff they like, and it's really tearing people apart.
I think Facebook has definitely won. So whatever they've done, which favors the user, I think they win, and I think they've made the right decision there. Again, Twitter's something slightly different on the other side, which is just really protecting the audience from seeing certain things. But Facebook does it in a way that you see what you want to see, which is the right thing. At the end of the day, it's the best possible product for the consumer. I want to see things that only I want to see. You want to see things that you want to see. So I do think it does work.
but
what
you don't
Facebook
think
does.
tears people apart? I'm only staying with my gang. I'm only staying with my gang.
But you don't really know. That's the thing. You don't really know. It's that you don't say or feel that I'm separated from you. You just see what you like. That's what's really
It is
happening.
definitely a form of control, but it's favored control in a way. It's like people will say that they want to see the other side, but all of a sudden you start seeing info that you don't want. You spend less time on Facebook. Facebook as a business knows that attention, eyeballs is everything for them. So
Definitely.
that the advertisers are spending money and people are spending more time on their platform.
Well, they lost something like I think it was like 30 billion or some huge amount of money up the stock market recently because Zuckerberg said that they're going to make
Favor
Facebook
people.
more personable, more about relationships.
It doesn't really justify the position of them. It's just some people obviously get scared because they're not going to generate more user dollars. But really, it's a long-term play because you're going to keep people on the Facebook platform for longer, and it's a much more viable business option. Personally, that's what I think.
Yeah.
So
Either
some
way,
people get scared, I think, but
Man, it's an incredible business, and
For sure.
it's just gone gangbusters. Like your business has gone gangbusters.
Exactly.
Did you have any other businesses that you started before Hismile where didn't work out, and you thought, let's just can that and try something else?
I had a sales and marketing company, but for me, it just wasn't what I wanted to do. It had to be something that I could really scale and speak to the wide world. And I think this was the opportunity that I
You went
needed.
global.
Global.
I think a lot of people in Australia, they go, oh, okay, we're just in Australia, and they find it hard to go, I reckon I could sell this on a global scale.
Yeah.
Is it a lot easier than people think to sort of take your business to the next level?
I
like
don't
that?
think to me, it's not easier. It's just the other thing is how well do you know the end consumer? And I think that's the one thing that we've understood from day one. We feel that we understand our target market, whoever we're targeting, better than anyone else. So we know how to sell when we start to sell to the 35 to 45-year-old male. We know what type of content, how to target them on Facebook, how to build the awareness, how to not just do a gunshot approach and put out, this is our kit, buy it for $79.99. How do we build a relationship with them, build the brand, instill the brand in their mind, and then when it comes to selling them, they're more warmed and comfortable to purchase. So in terms of people going overseas and expanding, the options are there, but the one thing is, it is expensive if you don't know what you're doing, because bigger
Definitely.
audience means more dollars.
What's different about your product as opposed to anyone else's, teeth whitening that
In
they
our
might buy
industry,
online?
it's the fact that we are a brand that means something, and how we represent ourselves. We make products for the end consumer, where other competitors are making products, obviously, for the retail companies to sell to end consumers. So there's quite a different scope of who we are and what our brand represents and how our products are made to the other competitors out there on the market. At the same time, we are actually a brand, and we actually stand for so much more.
What about the actual product? Like, how's the product different from, say, going to the dentist?
Yeah, so the two key features are, one, it whitens teeth in 10 minutes. That's our biggest push. It's the quickest on the market. And the second factor is it's very quick and easy to use. You just attach the thing, you apply the gel, and straight in the mouth. So there's not a lot of complexity to it. Before we came to the market, there was complexity. You had to mold mouth trays. It was a very ugly process, and we wanted to clean that up, get the formula that could do it in 10 minutes, and simplify that right down. And that's what we achieved.
If you're going to a dentist, it's a pain in the ass. You got to find a park, you got to make the booking, you got to sit in the waiting room,
And
read
the
a crappy
sensitivity
magazine
as well.
from 1988.
Definitely.
Then you've got to go and get the receipts so you can take it to fucking Bupa,
Exactly.
queue up for 2.5 hours, and realise that you only get about 4 cents back out of the $500 you just spent. It's better just to spend, what's your product, like $80?
$80 for the kit. We do sell other products, toothpaste and things like that. So we are expanding our product line. Ultimately, our goal is to dominate the bathroom. That's our end goal. That's our vision, how to get to
That's funny. That's always been my goal too. Just plucking and waxing and cleaning. And I forgot this morning, by the way. Sorry about that. So I'm getting a vibe here that, I could be completely wrong here, that you're the product guy and you're the marketing guy, or do you both do the
pretty close.
Pretty close. We do overlap, but that's pretty much how we sort of position ourselves. It's
Who works the hardest out of you two, you reckon?
the same.
Who's the bludger?
We both drive hard. We push hard.
Do you ever have any fights?
No, we
not
challenge.
fights,
We
but
challenge each other almost every day, but it's always for the right cause.
Yeah.
And that's why we win. I
So
feel.
when you say challenge yourselves, like you guys
Well,
follow any motivational speakers,
No,
or do
it's
you
like-
read books and say, let's do this challenge or that challenge, or challenge someone's
playing
opinion?
The devil's advocate. If Alex has an opinion, if I agree with it, perfect, and we both. Because if I agree and Alex agrees, generally speaking, it's the right way to move. If Alex has an opinion and I'm like, okay, if I think of it this way, there's a way that there could be a fault to that, or there's a better way to do it. Whether mine's right or Alex's is right, we're going to have you wouldn't say an argument, but a solid discussion, a heated discussion about why we should move down certain paths. And then we'll come up with either a hybrid mix or Alex's decision or my decision on which way to move with the business. And without removing ego or being like, oh, Alex is right, I'm upset, I feel a bit butthurt about it, or same vice versa. So that's why the business is winning to date, and why it's won over the past 3 years as like co-owners, is because we remove the ego totally. I don't mind if I'm right or if Alex is right, as long as the business is.
How do you do that though? How do you remove the ego?
Because we know that we both
a lot of people do that.
We both know that
Exactly.
we have the business at heart. So I know him challenging me is not him to
Not
challenge
personally.
me. It's him to challenge Hismile to get to a better spot.
Yeah.
So I'm so comfortable to be wrong if it's the right decision that Hismile needs.
Does it make it easier that you're friends or harder?
Much easier.
Much easier for us.
And
Do you still hang out as much?
Yeah, definitely every day. But I know how he ticks and I know how he thinks, so I know how he's getting to that point as well. So that adds to it as well, why we're able to move.
So it's a business match made in heaven.
Exactly.
Perfect. Yeah,
It's
pretty
a
much.
perfect.
Are there any other businesses like yours that you guys really, are inspired by and look up to?
Mainly the bigger companies. Like you look at companies like Apple, Nike, Adidas. We really, really respect and admire brands. So we don't really look at, okay, this company's turned over $100 million. They've sold X amount of product. It's like, have they built a brand that means something? Because by selling $100 million of teeth whitening kits, yes, it's perfect. Yes, you're making money, but it doesn't, for us personally, it doesn't fulfill you and it doesn't have longevity. It ebbs and flows. But brand is the one thing that stands the test of time. Brand outlasts anything on the market. So it's Apple, Nike, Adidas, McDonald's, even in different industry. They're brands.
But what about young kind of, influencer types that have started their own brand or something? Like anyone like that on a smaller scale, someone who's an up and comer that you guys go, wow, I really like these guys' product and what they're doing.
I'm trying to think.
Anyone that you think, hey, these bastards are copying us. What do you do with the people that are copying you?
There's a million of that.
There's a lot of people out there copying you.
There's a lot of people that copy and they take the exact and put the exact thing out, and that doesn't work. What works is take our learnings and filter it in for your brand. When we were talking about how do you get when you get 100,000 followers and you want to build that following and get the engagement up, you've got to post things that are relevant to your brand. Your brand and the identity is different to that of Hismile. If you're trying to recreate Hismile, you're going to lose every day. Because we're the best version of Hismile. Be the best version of your brand.
You're too far out in front. They can't catch you.
Well, you can be caught by a roundabout way if we are caught slipping or we don't focus on ourselves and we start focusing on company B.
Yeah.
They have to focus on themselves, whoever the competitor is or whoever the person is in an industry trying to break the noise is like, focus on yourself. When Samsung's going up against Apple, they're running these funny ads about Apple and it's a Samsung ad, yet that marketing budget's going towards Apple.
Yeah.
It's funny because you're
talking about it.
You're putting your hands up saying we're second best.
Yeah, totally.
It's funny and everyone's laughing, everyone's sharing it.
Yeah.
But it's Apple.
Yeah.
So it's like that marketing, while it's good and I respect it and it's smart, but hang on, you're spending millions, if not billions of dollars promoting Apple and promoting yourself as second best.
Only one thing worse than being talked about. That's not being talked about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what's the long-term plan for you guys? Where do you see yourselves in the next 5 years? Still here on the Gold Coast?
Still here on the Gold
Got other
Coast.
plans for other things?
No, we're definitely taking Hismile to another level. Our big goal is to get Hismile into every single bathroom, dominate the bathroom. But more importantly, we want to really challenge the current state of the market and challenge the default that sort of exists in the market. So people just mindlessly going to buy products that they're not very comfortable with or they don't really put a lot of time in. So we really want to challenge that and challenge.
You step it up.
We have to step it up. Infrastructurally, personally, as a brand.
New products?
New products, absolutely. Just challenge ourselves every single day. And I think if we do that, we'll get to that goal to eventually get Hismile in
Anal
every
bleaching? Low smile.
It's like evil brother.
Nice. Yeah. Well, sold. I'd like to buy the first one.
Let's go 50-50.
50-50. Hi, I'm
You can be the influencer.
Mike Goldman. Do you notice when you're looking over your shoulder in the mirror that maybe you're a little bit dark in some areas that you didn't quite expect to be? Well, welcome to Low Smile. You can do that Jim Carrey thing where, let me ask you a question. Well, that's cool, man. So look, on a business perspective of there's a lot of businesses that are being disrupted. Like you've obviously disrupted the dental industry in some way, shape, or form, and a lot of other things are starting to get disrupted, so to speak. It's such in word. Are there any businesses that you think are ripe for the taking? Like I was watching a story on a current affair the other night about funeral parlours, and they're charging $5,000-$6,000 for a coffin, and a dodgy funeral parlour got busted for swapping the body into a pine box, and they're just putting and reselling the coffin. So that's obviously an industry that's, one, really expensive, and two, it's very dodgy. Do you think, what would you guys do if you were to disrupt that kind of an industry?
One that actually does my head in is the mechanics.
Yeah.
It's so grey if you don't know anything about cars like myself. When you go there, you're going to get ripped off, guaranteed. I'm sure there's like you said, it's probably an industry that is high cost, a lot of money to be made. Yeah. Everyone needs it,
and you don't understand it.
And you don't understand it. If someone can be honest, trustworthy, true to the customer, it's all about customer experience these days. If someone can provide the right experience with the right product, they'll kill it.
In saying that, the auto industry do have Tesla, who do have their own mechanic.
More than mechanic.
But
you got to get your Tesla fixed.
But they do have their own mechanic. So Tesla have their policies.
They want to
own the thing top to bottom. And one of their policies is they actually do their own mechanics. They do their own servicing. And you don't pay extra for it. Like they've got really good policies that separates them, even in areas of mechanics and servicing.
And they're just doing things differently. Like they're setting up in shopping malls
but that's why they're going to win. So
I rocked into Tesla with boardies and a t-shirt and thongs, and just looking at one of their like $180,000, $200,000 car with the Tesla X or whatever it is. And this lady's going, "Do you want to take it out for the night?" And I'm like, I look like a hobo off the street. And you're just saying, I can take the car. Yeah, just give us your details sorted out. I took this thing burning all around town. I took it out to dinner. But it was amazing. It made me want one rather than just, the sales guy hammering you. So they just do things completely different. And on the whole servicing your car thing, there's a new product I saw the other day that's just come out. It was, I think it was like an Instagram or something that promoting it, where you plug in this little box into the fuse box of your car, and it's an app that comes up and shows you, exactly how much, oil you got to put in. It says like the engine light's on. You can reset the engine light. 'Cause a lot of time the engine light's just gone on because you need to check the oil or something like that. That's not that major. And you'll go in and, the idiot alarm goes off is what my friend who works as a mechanic calls it, because some idiots walked in and they thought, I'll charge them $500 and tell them or something. You wouldn't know.
You don't, and I hate that grey zone, and I think there's a massive gap whenever that is happening in an industry.
So if you were to, because you guys have done so well with your business and marketing it and promoting it, if you had a business that's got a really bad name, it's not going so well, and had a lot of horrible things happening, like, for example, the Catholic Church, like, what would you do to save their brand?
Reverse engineer what was it that got it to that state. So, for example, let's use our industry.
Jesus.
What we did.
Let's get Jesus back. He's been promising he's going to come back for years. Where the hell is that guy?
We need him back. But essentially what we did with our business is, what were the concerns and questions that people were having? Took too long, pain and sensitivity, and then from what we saw was ugly packaging and branding. So how do we take those things and then create something?
New outfits. Get the priests wearing like colours.
But even if for example, Catholic Church, even if they started to really focus on the person and not for other purposes, I think that would have the most success that you could ever see. But when it's so separated and diluted down, it's so hard to have what's the one common cause that they're here for, and are they here for me? And sort of with social media, things become a lot more uncovered than they did 20 years ago when things could just sort of go under the rug.
How do you get the people back? I mean, Jesus was handing out 3 loaves and fishes. Maybe they start, instead of taking money, because they've got so much money, the richest organisation in the world, just start maybe one day a week, just start handing out the cash to random people in the crowd. Do it like a game show.
Whatever it is to really speak to the people.
He solved all the problems of the Catholic Church. Anyone else wants any business problems solved, just contact the boys here and we can sort things out. Guys, thank you so much for this great opportunity to speak to you. I know that your time is valuable because you have a competition where you can win 30 minutes with you guys.
Exactly.
If anyone's watching right now, is that competition still going, and what are the gets?
Yeah, so basically the competition is going, and all they have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, Growing Up with Nik and Alex. What it is a daily vlog. We put out vlog content from Monday through to Friday, every single day, different piece of content, vlogging our day-to-day lives in business, in life in general. So it's a mixture of content. Subscribe to that page on YouTube. Let us know in the comment section below that you've subscribed and you're in the draw to win.
I can't wait to see it. I mean, I know when I walked in here to the offices at Broadbeach, there's like people already filming. So is this like your own reality TV show?
In a sense, yeah, behind the scenes of our lives.
So how much do you see? Do they see your private lives? They see you waking up in the morning?
Yeah. A good mixture of content. So some waking up in the morning, going for beach swims, going for workouts. Not just business. We want to mix in and reveal a bit more because I think that's the key to growing the following, getting more people engaged.
So you're both good-looking, rich guys living on the Gold Coast. You both seem like you're very level-headed. I thought you might have your head in the clouds and might be a bit, wankers. Because I know when I first had my first break when I was your age, I thought my shit didn't stink. But you seem pretty cool. So there'd be a lot of girls out there to be like chasing your asses. Number one, do you like girls? I wouldn't know because my gaidar's broken. It's got me in a lot of trouble. And number two, are you single?
No, we're both taken.
Both taken?
Both taken.
Go on. Lucky ladies. Well, guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate you for being on the show. And if people would like to buy your incredible product, it's just at
www.hismileteeth.com.
How many can we give away for free?
We can give away 5.
5 for free. Okay, so the first people to get onto the comment section and send us a photo of their teeth.
Yep.
And why they need it. Does that make sense?
Let's do it.
So that's your whole new marketing campaign.
Easy.
Just came up with it. Thank you so much, Nik and Alex. Really appreciate it. The
Appreciate
Highbright
you.
boys from the Gold Coast. Legends.
Well,
Watch
thank
this
you.
space. They're just getting bigger and bigger.
Hismile, mate.
Huh?
You said Highbright. It's Hismile.
When did I say that just then? Fucking, I've been talking about it for a fucking hour. The boys from Highbright here on the Gold Coast. The boys from Hismile here on the Gold Coast. They're taking over. Look, can we just edit that, please? Because that was just horrible. Let's wrap it up. I need a drink.